Hello and welcome to another episode of Foundation, where we are playing in the village of Bosco Verde. So as you can see, we're looking over our lovely village square here. Let us zoom out to start having a look at what we want to do today. So another thing we might want to sort out is these guys over here are having a bit of trouble getting enough iron ore in order to produce all the iron blocks they need to produce tools at the blacksmith. We do have a fair number of tools, but I want us to be very well stocked up on that. We do currently just have this one iron mining camp, and they come and mine their stones from this resource deposit here. There is another resource deposit here, and here, and here, and here, and here. So basically, if we purchase other tiles, we should be able to solve this issue. Oh, and we've just got enough wood in storage in order to confirm this delivery, which is good. So actually that's just given us some coins, so that might be exactly what we need to get started on our farming. Another thing we're going to want to do is build a bailiff's office over here at the manor house, which we haven't unlocked yet on the progression tree. But we could go ahead and do that now. And the other thing we're going to need in order to satisfy our commoners is these village fortifications as well, so we should grab that while we're here. We do need to unlock this clothing option in the common path as well in order to be able to build our sheep farms and produce cloth, so we'll get that. And we will need the same to unlock wheat farming. And we've already unlocked boar, so those are the three we're going to be working on today. I envision our sheep farm kind of running over this hill. I think that could look pretty good, especially once the rest of these trees are cleared out. I can start painting some of this back. And then I'll go into our new buildings and have a look at goods production. And here we can see our sheep farm. So this is pollutive, so we want to keep an eye on where we're putting it. Potentially we want to put it down here with our other pollutive buildings on the shoreline. I think that could be a good idea. And I'm probably going to place 2 of them so that we can build out a fair number of farms at once. And to build that we need tools, stone and wood, all of which I believe we have some of in stock. Less wood, it's all been turned into planks, which actually makes me think perhaps we should pause one of our sawmills, or even both of our sawmills. So that we can stock up more of the wood for those buildings. And let's have a watch of this being built. There we go, and that is all done. So now all we want is a couple of workers to fill it, and we'll draw out the farming area and we'll be ready to go. So we've got the spare workers that we can add here, and now we can paint the pasture. There we go, that is now adequately sized. I will go ahead and build a wall round it, but I will wait till we've built the other pasture first. I really like how that looks on the hillside. And now we are just missing mature livestock. I believe that just takes a bit of time to come into effect, and then this field will start producing wool, which also means we're going to need somewhere to store that wool. So I'll have a look at our current warehouses and see if we need to build any more in order to get that up and running. I will want to move this as well. And this is a piece of advice telling me to have a bailiff, which I do want to do, so I will accept that as a task. But for now, I will keep working on these sheep fields. There we go, I think those are looking good. And this has now been built, so I can assign this to store wool, cloth, and clothing. And we've got 2 more villagers here, so I'll scoop them up. And now we can start looking at the other buildings that have come with the clothing progression unlock. So this weaver's hut produces 1 cloth in exchange for 3 wool, and that is what we want right now in order to be able to start producing our own cloth and not have to import it. And luckily it is not a pollutive building, so that can come up here quite close to our housing. There we go, that can get built now. There we go, and that was built very quickly. We can assign a couple of workers. We can scoop these 2 up that have just arrived. And this building is going to take 30 wool and turn it into 50 cloth. And instead what we're going to do is we're going to use some of our stone in order to build a nice stone wall all around our sheep field. There we go, and now I have built that wall out. I'm ready to hit build. That should occupy our builders for a fair while. In the meantime, we've got a little task over here. Wood for the bishop. The bishop is looking to build a few chapels and noticed my wood. I think we basically already have that in stock and could sell it immediately, so that makes a lot of sense. There we go, we've immediately got the money for that, which is nice. Oh, and our second stonemason's hut has just been built out, which is exciting. And I do want to just adjust its position ever so slightly again. There we go. And so I might use some of the money we have stored up to purchase another tile where we can seek out some more iron deposit. Let me just check where those were again. So there is one just here, which is very near to our tool making business, so I think that is probably the territory I want to go for. And now I can come in here and build a little iron mining area just next to this deposit. Hopefully that will help this area to run slightly more efficiently. I think what I'm going to do now is build our bailiff's office and then have a look at where we can start building our first common houses. There we go, and I'm pretty happy with that we've designed, so I'll go ahead and build that bailiff's office. And I think it probably is worth building a little builder's hut down here to help with some of these projects. And we can immediately assign 3 builders there, which is good. And now we can have a look at our bailiff's office being built. There we go, and that looks like our bailiff's office is now built, which means we can assign someone. We have someone who can increase job learning speed, or someone who provides a trade price bonus. I think we might want the trade price bonus. So, Ameriguccia, the job is yours. And that means we should now be able to go up here and start completing some mandates. So one of the first I would like to do is to influence the Labour estate in your favour, because we need to do that to finish off this piece of advice. And after we finish doing that, I will probably come back and prospect some mineral deposits. And our sheep farms look to be going pretty well. Although storage is full. We are storing wool over here, and we have filled it up. So perhaps we need to store some more wool and either produce more cloth or common clothes with it, and we did not bring or build the common clothes building yet, so why don't we go ahead and do that one. The tailor's workshop. And this can again be sort of anywhere. Might use it as a buffer in between these houses and this industrial area. Wonder if any of these houses are being impacted by the industry yet. I think that will look okay there. Go ahead and build it. There we go, that's gone up very nicely, so now we can employ a few people to work there. And this is best suited to citizens, which we are very far off, so they're only working at a quarter efficiency, which suggests that our next goal should be to try and build this housing that we want for our commoners, which I think we are going to do in this area. So if we click on a house, we can see that what they want to be basically commoners want this sort of medium quality housing, and they need to be in a beautification area and have a commoner resident in order to fulfill that criteria. So what we can do is start beautifying some of the areas around our houses. Another thing we might want to do is look at this medium density housing, which requires light fortification and patrol coverage. One of the ways of providing light fortification is providing a fence around your housing. And that is what I would quite like to try in this area. We're also going to need a watch post in order to be able to provide patrol coverage, so I will put a small watch post in as part of our manor house now. There we go, and I will start off with that. Oh, so we've got someone asking us for wood. 80% the offer sweetens if we bargain with them. I say let's risk it. Oh, well, the negotiations failed. They're now just offering us 120. And to be honest, we're a bit low on money, so I'll probably take it anyway. And now we can assign a patroller and a watchman here. And I'm going to build out a little bit more of this hedge so I know where I want my manor to end. And that will allow me to... Oh, that was an accident. That will allow me to start building the area that I want to be enclosed by a fence. There we go, that's all I'll need for now. And this is where we can see fortifications. We've got this wooden fence or a watchtower. I'm going to have a go at building this village wall. we go, and now I believe this whole purple area is covered by light fortification, and so I will go ahead and build it. And I will also allow housing to be built within the limits of it. And these houses should also have some beautification. I might build one more weaver's hut so we can create a bit more cloth. And as we've finished influencing the Libra estate, we can also go out and do our prospecting now. So I think I want to start prospecting over here. So I'll go ahead and prospect this mineral deposit. This tender can sell meat, and that is a good excuse to start our boar industry. We have a look at where there is good hunting. There is quite a lot in this forest, so I think I would potentially like to use this area to hunt for boar. And with that we can now build our hunting hut, which is just here. And so that hunter's hut produces boar, and then we need a butchery to turn the boar into meat. And then I will build a granary where we can store that meat. And we can see that these houses are covered by light fortification and patrol coverage, which means they have upgraded to be medium density, almost, it looks like. Yeah, I think they are medium density. So now they just need some commoner residents, which is what we can do by going over to our mandates. Open list of villagers to be promoted. And I believe we currently can't promote them because they haven't had refined food yet. So we should go ahead and start... Well, actually, once this boar is up and running, that should fulfill that need. And I believe we just got a notification saying that our bailiff had found an iron ore deposit over here. So we'll need to go and build that out, and that is very good news for our iron smelter, which is often struggling for iron deposit. I think I'm going to unpause one of these sawmills and take away these 3 from working in the other one. So that we can employ some people at our granary. And once we've started selling that at the market, that should meet their needs, and we'll be able to promote some people to commoners. We also have a little task to update our market to be 5 labour splendour, which I think we can manage if we do a bit of beautification. Here we go, your villagers are eligible to a new status, commoner. Fortunately, we don't even have 40 coins in order to build this market, and our money is going down, which is slightly worrying. It's probably the cost of the new buildings we've been creating. Hopefully we can just wait for that to go up briefly and then build these 2 archers. In fact, we're not going to wait. We're going to discuss the levy. Very good. Now we can do exactly what we want. Let's have a look how the production line is coming along. We've got boar in there. I suppose really we probably want all the boar to go to the butchery. So perhaps we actually don't store boar in here. And instead we send it all to the butchery. And we could even get another hunter's hut if we wanted. Somewhere over here. Seeing as we seem to be low on boar for this place. So the people who are most unhappy are lacking service and refined food. So perhaps it's also time we built another church. If this one is not. Yeah, our weekly attendance is 33 out of 33, so we probably do need another church. We are for once in our lives running low on berries as well, so we may want to look at earmarking another little berry producing spot. And in order to do that, I'm going to purchase this territory. And we have begun to sell some meat at our village market. So hopefully that need is being fulfilled now, slowly for most people. And service we still need to work on, so let's build another quick church. There we go, and that's quite a large church that will have a capacity of 75. Once again, we are crying out for iron ore. Luckily, we've now unlocked this deposit. I don't know if I'll be able to build on it until, yeah, we've unlocked that territory, so maybe that's what we want to do next. Oh, we need to unlock 2 in order to get there. So I will buy this territory with the understanding that we need to get to this one just behind it for the resources. Oh, we need the goods market to be able to sell those common clothes, so let's do that. We can put that goods market stall just here. And we need a little bit more money before we can build it. And we do now have 50 coins in order to build this new goods stall. And once that's built, we are able to sell clothes from there. Our money situation is slightly teetering on the edge. I'm not sure Northbury buying 8 planks for 10 coins is going to solve that for us. And we've welcomed 100 villagers. That's a nice milestone. And we may need to think about making a mandate to promote these villagers. Happiness is almost as high as it could be, so I'm okay with doing that. And as a result, I will promote these people. And now we're out of money again, so we weren't able to finish off those promotions, but there is a fair few commoners that can now move into this housing. Oh good, and our stall for selling clothes has completed, which should also add to general happiness. And they are quite unhappy at what they're perceiving as a refined food shortage. So I think we may want to create a wheat farm over here. We can now charge tax to our commoners, so I think we should have a look at doing that. Doesn't bring in loads of money, but it does bring in a bit. And we will take their money for the wool because we are in quite desperate need of it currently. We can build a wheat farm over here. Some of the commoners are complaining about their housing, so I think maybe we come and beautify a few more of these. We can put a rose bush in each of the gardens, and they will enjoy that. There we go. Can have a look at this being built. There we go. Now we can paint out this crop field. And now we can build the other parts of that production line. Which is creating a windmill and a bakery. Quite like the idea of the windmill actually being quite high up on the hill. Maybe in the middle of the crop fields. So I might put it just there. And then we also want a bakery, which can go somewhere in town. Perhaps next to our tailor's shop. Need 50 coins to build that. We can unlock a few more trade routes, so we may as well do that, see if we can trade anything else. We can trade polished stone, perhaps above 100. And we can't trade wool yet. We could trade common clothes again, perhaps above 100. And our windmill is finished. Wow, we need loads of millers. May as well assign everyone we can, and we are finally ready to build our bakery as well. Perhaps we can paint in a few more beautification areas. These ones have been beautified, haven't they? Yes. Oh good, 4 more people to accept. That is exactly what we want. And we could probably promote some more of our villagers now too. That's it for now. Moving quite slowly with that. Let's try to build another wheat farm. And I think one more over this side as well. We will need another, granary, I think, for this. Yeah, for wheat, flour and bread, so let's build another of those. Perhaps in one of these spaces which are only free. And this is totally empty of planks now. Perhaps we could store something else here. There we go. Bishop wants to purchase our wool. That is a good deal for us because we have a lot of it, so let's do it. And with that money I will buy us this territory. So we can start mining this iron deposit, which is going to be very useful for us. There we go. Hopefully that means our tool trade will never again. Oh, now our tool trade is lacking coal. Interesting. Why is that? Maybe we need another coal area? Gosh, just as you fix one problem, another arises. Isn't it ever the way? And so this is our new granary, so in here we want wheat, flour and bread. And we would probably also like a stall at the market selling bread. Might change one of our fish stalls to sell bread instead. Now we can paint this crop field. There we go. I'm going to allow more housing down along here, not that I think they really seem to be wanting it very much. Oh, they did want it, isn't that nice? Now we could go and prospect another mineral deposit. Or we could improve the middle trade route. I'd say we could improve our trade route for now. Don't really see the difference. We also want to promote people again as we can. There we go, that's everyone who wants to be promoted for the moment. And are we selling bread at our stall yet? We are indeed, isn't that nice to see? Wow, yeah, our coal has really gone down, so the iron ore should improve once this area has been built out. We can add 2 miners. And yeah, I will build another coal camp as well to help with that situation. This was working very well for a long time, so I don't quite know why it isn't anymore. Okay, and now we are waiting on coal. There's like a seesaw with this. Oh, I need to employ people here. That would be right. Maybe I move this one further out into one of the deforestation areas. Well, we're going to have more iron ore than we know what to do with once this is done then. I love the look of this. In the middle of the wheat field. That's very good. There we go, and I think this is where we can end this episode, looking over our brand new farming fields. These are looking really great, and as we can see, the visitors are delighted. Yeah, really happy with our progress today on the farming, and also if we zoom over here on our commoners housing, which is slowly beginning to upgrade and is looking really good. So thanks for watching this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.